Greetings, Star Warrior.
Welcome to the Outer Rim. This is John Roca. In the next few moments, I want you to pay attention to what the other guy is saying, but I want you to pay attention to what John Roca is doing.
George Lucas wanted to wait until episode 9 to kill off Luke Skywalker? Well, the universe is about to implode, and Roca and I are going to go right in the middle.
Okay, so I'm going to jump towards the future and tell you exactly what this video is about, according to what these guys are saying. Apparently, Mark Hamill made it clear recently that George Lucas was going to kill Luke Skywalker in episode 9, which means that Luke Skywalker was going to live until episode 9. According to John Roca and this other guy over here, that is a fact. But as the other guy over there is saying that, John Roca is shaking his head. Let's watch that again.
Kill off Luke Skywalker?
Now, this usually means no, but since they've established that it's a fact in this video, he has to be shaking his head for some other reason. And in this video, we're pretty much going to discover what his reasons are and what kind of person he is, really. Now, I have to preface this by saying that I am not a body language expert, but usually when someone's shaking their head, it indicates some sort of negative connotation. There's very few instances where it's appropriate to shake your head for something positive or affirmative. And so, we're here to discover what's so negative to Roca about George Lucas waiting till episode 9 to kill Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, so, okay, big news coming out of Mark Hamill. Keeps dropping these.
Oh, there it was again. Did you catch that? Roca loves to do the little shake with his little head.
Yeah, so, okay, big news coming out of Mark Hamill. Keeps dropping these haymakers out of left field here. In an interview with George Lucas, apparently approached Mark Hamill and told him exactly what his plan was for episode 9, how he was going to end it, where he revealed, and this is quote from Mark Lucas.
Yeah, sure. Mark Lucas.
Mark
yes.
Hamill, who was speaking to IGN in an interview there, said, "I happen to know that George didn't kill Luke until the end of episode 9, after he trained Leia," which is another.
So this is big news. I never thought I'd actually get to know very much about what George Lucas intended to do with Star Wars and what he intended to do with his original characters. Now, I still don't know how big of a role Luke, Leia, and Han were supposed to play in George Lucas's version of the movies, but apparently he felt that those characters were valuable enough for Luke to not only train up-and-coming characters, but also to train Leia by episode 9. And let's face it, George Lucas would have had to get up pretty late in the afternoon to write a script as bad as Rian Johnson did.
It makes me go, okay, so that was Lucas's idea for the original trilogy.
Yeah.
What jumps out at you right away, Roca?
Here's what jumps out at me. Mark Hamill, I love you to pieces, but enough is enough already. Let it go. You're dead. You're dead. You died. Last Jedi is done. But he keeps giving these interviews. Oh, I'd like to come back this way, and I want to come back this way.
First off, if there was no value to Mark Hamill's opinion on any of this stuff, then he wouldn't be answering any of those questions because no one would be asking those questions because no one would care about his answer. Do you really expect anyone to believe that Mark Hamill is the one that reached out to IGN to do these interviews? The fact that he keeps doing these interviews and people keep asking him this stuff and he keeps giving these answers indicates that there is value. People want to know this stuff. And the fact that you, a Collider lapdog who's in the pocket of Disney one way or another, don't see that when you're the one who's talking about Star Wars and the people involved with Star Wars all the time is very telling. Also, this crap is like me telling you that you need to shut up about Mark Hamill. Can you do that?
I want to do this or that. And this tells you an actor who has been off screen for a majority of his career since the end of the original.
Exactly as I thought. It appears you can't do that.
I want to do this or that. And this tells you an actor who has been off screen for a majority of his career since the end of the original trilogy. Here he is trying to kind of, get the last rung, squeeze the last drop out of this publicity for himself. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that now what he's doing is riling up the fandom. And it really kind of upsets me a little bit because
Are we pretending that you're not making a video about this to get publicity for yourself? Is that what we were doing? Are we pretending that you're not talking about this and riling up the fans? We're pretending this right now. That's serious. If those were your real thoughts on the matter, you would have just let this go as if it never happened, and hopefully the hundreds of thousands of people that watch your channel would never find out about what Mark Hamill said. But you couldn't really help yourself, could you?
Here he is trying to kind of, you know, get the last rung, like squeeze the last drop out of this publicity for himself. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that now what he's doing is riling up the fandom, and it really kind of upsets me a little bit because he's the one who started this whole Last Jedi stuff by making that comment right after Last Jedi came out. It's not how I wanted to die, and that really messed with Ryan Johnson. Then he took it back when the fans were like going after Ryan Johnson, going after the movie, and now he's doing it again by saying, well, you know what? George Lucas wouldn't have killed me until after 9, and I would have trained Leia in the Force. So now we're throwing that into the mix.
So an idiot comes along and makes a movie that damages careers of actors, and Mark Hamill is contractually bound to make this movie. He's totally against the direction of the movie, but there's nothing he can do. He has to go through with making this movie, and you're here to tell me that he should just shut up about that. That he shouldn't try to distance himself from the decisions made in that film as much as possible. And if you want to pretend that Mark Hamill's the one who riled up the fans, you go right ahead, but he's not the one that started this. Kathleen Kennedy's the one that started it. And since she seems to be AWOL at the moment, you're here carrying out her job for her. Good going, Rocco. Way to show your solidarity, man.
I don't get it.
Yeah, this came out, and I read it. I read the headline, and I went, oh, boy. Here we go. Because, look, Mark Hamill was very, very liberal with what he was saying out there. The through line of The Director and the Jedi, the great documentary that comes on the Last Jedi Blu-ray, it's a fantastic documentary. The heart of that is Mark Hamill saying, I fundamentally disagree with the direction of my character, Luke Skywalker, that Ryan Johnson is doing.
So, Roka doesn't get it when someone tells the truth. The Director and the Jedi has been pretty big news lately, but Mark Hamill was just supposed to stay closed mouth about it, you know? Or he's supposed to toe the company line and give you half-assed answers about everything, because he's as weak as Rocco, right? Not everyone is as weak as you, man.
And all of that. Training Leia bothers me a little bit. Why would Luke need to train Leia? I mean, Leia's got her own kind of thing. And so what would that be like? I wonder, especially at Carrie Fisher's advanced age. What are we training at? Like, what is this going to go on?
And this might be the worst part of that whole thing. The idea that the older you get, the more useless you get, which seems to be what Disney is pushing these days. And this guy is towing the line again. Even here. Or maybe he's saying that training is useless. I mean, what did Luke need Obi-Wan to train him for? What did he need Yoda to train him for? You know, what's training about anyway? Why do you need that? We're either dealing with a mental invalid here or someone who's so far stuck up Disney's ass that he can't tell where his neck ends and Mickey's butt begins.
Ryan Johnson was going to hand it off to Colin Trevorrow. We know how that happens. Now he's going to hand it off to J.J. Abrams.
Right.
And he says Ryan didn't write what happens in 9. He was going to hand it off to originally Colin Trevorrow, and now J.J. It's an ever-evolving, living, breathing thing. Whoever's on board gets to play with the life-size action figures that we all are.
Right.
It's true. J.J. is going to have to go in and clean up.
Did you slip there? Did your true feelings come out for a second there? Let me re-quote you. It's true. JJ's gonna have to go in and clean up this mess. I mean, if there's no mess, you don't clean up, right?
I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it.
I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Do and finish this new sequel trilogy. I just don't know. I think what Lucas was doing, Disney notoriously threw it away. He did hire Michael Arndt, Toy Story 3's writer, who then flushed out a treatment. And we were going to focus on Luke, yes, and there was going to be Kira, which was later turned into Rey.
Right.
And there was elements of The Last Jedi that were going to appear in Force Awakens. But I heard personally that they were going to focus on younger characters.
Yes.
And Lucas was looking at it, younger characters. So what I think Mark Hamill is saying here was some of the secondary characters passing the baton off. He does say it like it's passing the baton. So I think inherently we were going to get what we kind of see now, an older Han Solo, an older Luke Skywalker, an older Carrie Fisher, all handing off to the young characters. So I think that's still following true. But it's Luke being alive by the end of 9 and training Leia that I think is going to get people talking.
Yeah, and
a character like Luke Skywalker cannot pass the baton, or the lightsaber in this instance, if he refuses to accept the responsibility and instead tosses it towards the ocean. Apparently, George Lucas felt that there was a way to feature both the old characters and the new characters in a more fictionally appropriate light. I think I'm going to end this video here. Tell me what you guys think in the discussion section below. like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Apparently, YouTube has made some announcements where if you subscribe to a channel, but you do not hit the notification bell, then you won't be notified of all the videos that a person makes. So, if you want to be notified of every video I make, hit the notification bell. And, as always, if you're listening, you are the new rebellion. You are the new rebellion. You are the new rebellion. You are the new